Hey, I'm done with complaining after the last video. I somehow like to make a video, then have a break of a week or more. Then I'm recording again, and then oftentimes next day also I still have something else to say that goes in another direction. And then I again have my time where I'm just doing my stuff, and then I come back again in a week or so. It's interesting how it works. It's like a ripple effect. I make a video once, then I still want to make a new one shortly afterwards, before I go back into the underworld, so to speak. Yeah, okay, the last one was complaining, but this time I'm done with it because I have the positive momentum again. Yesterday, I indeed was doing a TRE session, tremor release exercises, followed by Kundalini yoga. It always has a better effect if you do TRE and then you do Kundalini yoga because your channels are more cleared and you can better push up clean energy towards your crown chakra and third eye. And then you're more positive, you can go out and you realize that people are more positive. Yeah, I was still taking a little piece of edible to go out, and it's just really stressful, honestly, because then you have to even more hardcore track your own behavior and are worried to mess up. And before you have a drink or so, it's really bad. Like I was going to the bar, I thought, oh my god, I'm about to go home again because I don't know, zoned out. I'm in my own thoughts and something embarrassing could happen. But then I got drunk and it was fine and I had a very good evening. I mean, yeah, like I'm planning not to do it all the time, of course, the edibles. I'm about to stop anyway now because I feel like I'm approaching my next streak. I'm now riding the upward momentum again, you know. It was already great that on Friday, now it's Sunday, yeah, that on Friday evening I went to the treadmill, and since Friday evening I now stay away from content again. I am saturated again now, finally. It's always the most difficult time for me from after the bar. You know, today is Sunday until Thursday when the next bar comes, especially Monday. And these days are difficult. It feels like no matter what you do, you have a job, you don't have a job, still. The first part of the week always feels like grinding. It's always is more difficult to, you know, not edge or something. But since I now exhausted my edging resources, I don't need to do it anymore. I'm satisfied. I can now go on a streak. I think this time I will do it again. And actually, I think it's cool because the last streak was not long ago. So if I already now can catch myself, it's nice. And I found the right music, you know. Depending on your mood, it always feels like the algorithm magically gives you something at some point. You discover some new music that really is uplifting and underlines your positive momentum. So I feel that momentum. I feel that my soul is ready now for another streak, and so now I will stick to it. I will show you the music, I guess, later on. Let's talk first about something else that pushes me in a positive direction. I was on Reddit looking into different, you know, posts in the Semen retention and Nofap community where people post like they are completely not able to go on streaks. A week is their maximum, if at all. Normally they relapse every third day. You know, those really newbies, yeah? People that really are not able to go on streaks. And then I wrote to one of them a while ago, and now I'm his mentor basically. I told him how to get rid of stuff. I was first trying to go with him in the direction of lean into your relapse cycle, but honestly he doesn't need that. I mean, if you are always in a relapse cycle, then there's nothing to lean into. You just have to stop, honestly. So this is then in what direction our conversation went. And so he was a bit explaining what he is into, and I realized, yeah, based on the way he was talking about it, he is too much focused on it, honestly. But then he also caught himself and he was asking more productive questions like, how do I get rid of my triggers? So I could help him, and by helping him, I also feel like I'm helping myself, and now I can ride together with him this momentum of a streak. I mean, I don't know about him, if he will be able to do it, but it seemed very promising because I told him that he has to get rid of all the saved content. If he has any content sexual, on his phone, on his laptop, that he made screenshots or he downloaded something, I told him delete all of this to begin with. In the beginning it's difficult sometimes to let go of these stuff. You save them because you like them, but you realize, when you do it a few times, you realize it's really not a big deal, because if you delete some content, it's not that special anyway. You can, if you have another relapse cycle later, again find new content and then save it, and it's all replaceable. This is not part of your identity. You don't need to, keep care of this content like it's your child or something. You can just delete it. So yeah, I told him to do it, and he did it. I told him delete all your saved bookmarks if you have any of them that lead to some websites that have the content. Delete all the bookmarks. If you have your subscription, you can still go and check out the website if you really need to edge or whatever, but just make the access as restricted as possible. Also, I told him, if you have Instagram, if you have YouTube, Reddit obviously he has, if you follow any sexual stuff there, delete these. Or if you're unable because you identify too much with these ownings and you don't want later to again build it all up for yourself because you're not ready to let it go fully, at least move it to a second account that you then don't log into it, So your content is still saved, but you don't have immediate access to it. You clean your space that at least when you're not onto it, if you're not searching for sexual content, it will not randomly all the time pop up on your phone or your laptop. For example, you browse through Instagram, you delete all sexual subscriptions or whatever you have, like Instagram models. You push them, if necessary, to a second account, and then you just let go of that and don't look it up. So at least when you're normally browsing on Instagram because you're checking out what your friends are doing or something, at least you don't get bombarded randomly by sexual content if you're not even asking for it. This is really important, that at least you clean your spaces. So I wanted to say this first because this is some valuable advice, especially for beginners, YouTube and so on. You better follow some retainers, listen to them, anything that adds value, where you learn something from the content that you're watching, and you erase everything that the only reason you are watching this is out of sexual motivation. All of these stuff has to go. There's no reason to stick to them, and if at some point you want to relapse again, you will find these contents again. You don't need to have them saved, yeah? So this was first of all the valuable advice, but now I feel the positive momentum and I will just write it. If I really want to, I always can. And my plan for the future is, next time if I reach 30 days or however, and I will feel not that good anymore, I will do this little reset relapse without content. I don't know if I can let the idea fully go of sometimes resetting with content, because I think it can push me higher, but at least I will not do it for the next time. And then for the time after, maybe, okay, I do it again with content once. Because right now I really need some success finally. I'm done with all the time relapsing and so on. So maybe at least for once I will do a reset without content. And then maybe every second time, maybe, I will do it with content, but not more, because this way I don't get into a negative cycle again, Like even if I do one time reset without content, next time reset with content, and then I still at next time again do it without content, at least I don't get fully hooked and get sloppy, because this is what happened in the past. So I'm trying to learn from that. And yeah, like this I will probably have at least 2 good months or 3 good months going on. This is now my goal, I'm definitely getting progress, and let's see how it goes. I mean, when I was, for example, 2 years ago, I was on a streak for 3 months, then I had a relapse with content, and then I was, for example, going to a Christmas party back then at my company, and everyone was so admiring me, like even the older women that work in the company were all giving me looks, It was really funny. But I know that if I continuously reset with content, I will again get sloppy and fail and fall. I know that already. So this is my new discipline idea and approach, not cutting it out 100%, but mostly because I still want to harness the positive uplift energy that you can get from hyperstimulation. I don't letting it fully go, but I also will not do it every time anymore. Like I need honestly to build something more sustainable where I'm less focused on hyperstimulating myself, and which leads to it not being sustainable. But yeah, because if you get hyperstimulation and then you can integrate it without relapsing because of the chaser effect, if you really have the discipline and you're not doing it too much and you're getting too sloppy, then you can integrate this hypersexual energy into your body and it just emanates as pure charisma, and your face glows even stronger, your skin glows. You are standing in the most cool way possible. You just look in the mirror, or randomly, if you're outside, you look into some car mirroring from the window, and you just see yourself and you see that you're completely shining. It's just so cool. I cannot fully let it go, but I will do it more disciplined. And yeah, and now I have the uplift momentum, so I found the right music that somehow just God sent to me that supports it. I was searching for an older track, I couldn't find it, but then I found another track by the same person. I can play it to you, then you can see what I mean. See, it's like do 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 do. It's like you're completely emanating energy. This is how it feels listening to this type of music, and I just feel like it right now. It fits the way I feel. It's like now I'm going all in, super hardcore. It's like I imagine myself to be like some type of machine where all doors open up, where the energy is now shooting out and I'm reaching my goal. You know, the music is like going up, you know, it's like and this is how I feel, like I'm climbing successfully some huge mountain now with ease because it's a breakthrough. And this is how the current momentum feels. But it goes on. Down. So yeah, basically then in the music, the female voice, the robotic female voice is saying down, and then suddenly the music goes down somehow and is on a lower level still going up. It's like and it feels like you know, it's maybe stupid if I explain, but for me, I just try to explain how the music feels to me. It's like suddenly when you connect to the music, it's more in the lower chakras because, you know, it's like a cleaning up. Like even on that lower level, you're completely cleaning up your entire space and you're going super hard all in. I don't know if I can explain that properly, but this is just super uplifting to me. Especially this guy, this techno person who is making this music. This is the type of music I was also listening in the past when I was a teenager. You know, I was always sitting at the floor playing video games. And my parents told me to sit on a chair or something, and I always refused because I was so stubborn. And so my spine got very round because I was always sitting on the floor, also drawing stuff, comics, whatever. And so my spine got very round and I had very high social anxiety, and I was also generally the outcast in school. Like I had my friends, but we were more the outcast people. And back then I was also listening to such type of techno. Techno is crazy because it completely pushes further and beyond. This is why also many people in the finance, who study finance at universities, they like listening to techno because it's just like whatever happens, you still go and you're still hardcore, because how else are you supposed to be able to study such a dry thing? Yeah, and I don't know. And back then, I completely took myself out of all my issues. I was like, I will do whatever is necessary to get out of my current situation. I spoke up to my mother, even though it was so difficult for me, and I told her that I have social anxiety and so on. and she helped me back then. I was still a teenager, yeah. So she went with me, organized that I had a psychologist. I searched everything by myself because it was so important for me. And the psychologist told me what to do, that I have to go out and ask random people for the time and so on the street. It was difficult, but it worked for a while. And then I also, because of the psychologist's tip, signed up to a basketball team because it gives you a feeling of being part of a team and people respect you. You know, you go there, so many guys, and you clap with them, high five, and it's so cool. You're all a team, and you're all you feel like unity. That was very positive as well. So I got a lot into basketball. Even then, I broke my ankle on my foot because of it, and I still tried to continue, and I overdid it. And even now, I still walk around, and my ankle is a bit always like easy to break, and then I again have pain, and when I walk there's always a sound with this foot. It's like constantly there's a sound because the ankle is a bit broken, but it's so worth it because I don't care. Like, it was very nice that I did all of it, and it really uplifted me back then as well. And I had this round spine, so I was going to the physiologist, and I got exercises. They all didn't help, but I tried so hard. My entire summer back then, it was I don't know, before my last school year, or maybe I had 2 more school years, I think. And I was all summer long during the break just trying to get rid of my spine issue, that my spine looks so round. And all of the techniques didn't work that the physiologist told me, but then I decided to do push-ups all the time, and push-ups helped me. And then I was all the time working out, lifting weights, and I also was a bit overweight, so I was going on the treadmill every day for 42 minutes, listening to techno all the time. I also even went to a hypnotherapist, got a hypnosis to get socially more confident. And I did all of this. And I remember before I started doing all of this, I was all the time just playing GTA and modding it. And you can do a lot of stuff in GTA, like picking up girls in the game and having sex with them in the game and so on. And then someone in a modding forum wrote, I was also playing a lot of GTA, but then I realized it's so much better to do all of these stuff in real life. And this was also such an important somehow moment that I read this comment, and then this is when I was fighting to live my life, to not have it waste. And this is when I was picking up all the routines, losing a lot of weight over the summer break, being on the treadmill and so on. And I remember how I then went back to school on the first day and so on, and how people looked at me like they realized that I up-leveled. It was all very cool. So now I will ride the positive momentum.